support. To God be the glory. It's all for Him. It's not for the numbers. It's just to put out whatever God has given me my heart. So, and also for those that are newly watching, welcome to the channel. My whole goal is when I'm putting content out is to be led by God. So I'm not always given things to put out. So I don't, I try to be very responsible. So I don't want to put out things every day just whimfully. I'm not one of those people that God gives something to every single day. Like that, especially to put out. Some things He gives me for me. Sometimes He gives me things for others, and it's for me to sit on. There's so many different things, but definitely not an everyday occurrence. And if it does happen, then obviously my frequency will be more. But for now, what God has been giving me is to put this out about the story of Ruth. And if you don't know who Ruth is, she is definitely a very real character, or a person, I should say, in the Bible. She has her own book. It is in the Holy Bible, so you would definitely want to go read that. There's not many chapters to it at all. As a matter of fact, it's a very small read. As you can see, there are 4 chapters in the book, so you can definitely get through it very easily. So God gave me a phrase in my mind, and I apologize that I don't have it written down in front of me because I had been sitting on it for a little bit, and of course that's what happens when I do that. So I definitely wanted to just get on and just put the word out, get it out there, and because somebody obviously is waiting on it, and I want to bring glory to God. So I've seen so many videos out there where someone will say they want their Boaz, or they're looking for their Boaz. And if you don't know who Boaz is, he can be found in the book of Ruth. He is actually who Ruth ended up marrying. He was able to take her from the fields where she was gleaning, meaning that she was pulling crop, and he was the owner of the field. He was also a kinfolk to her mother-in-law. Her husband had passed away, as well as her brother-in-law, her father-in-law, and she agreed to move to her mother-in-law's place of origin, so where her mother-in-law was from. She left her kinship, so meaning she left her home, she left everybody that she knew. She had already she had been with her mother-in-law and father-in-law, but after her husband passed away, she decided to stay with her mother-in-law and make wherever her mother-in-law was to go her home. And so she followed the directions of her mother-in-law, and because she was obedient to that, she was able to get a husband out of it. And also King David came out the lineage. So what God was placing in my spirit was that everybody wants a Boaz, but they don't want the process to get the Boaz. So if you want a husband, so in other words, what is being spoken is that you want a husband. So Boaz is a representative of a husband. But in order to get that, there's specific instructions that God may have laid in your heart. There are things maybe He has told you not to do. Maybe things He's told you to do. Maybe He's told you that this person is not the person that is for you, and you know it in your gut, you feel it, but you still want to make it work. That is what our flesh does. It loves to compromise. It loves to go by feelings. With God, a lot of times, that's not the way He works, because He's God. He's the opposite of us. And if He acted like us, He wouldn't be God. He definitely wants to create a definitely clear line to let you know this is how we are, and then He's way above that. So if we can paint any scenario, you could pretty much guess that God won't come through in that way. That's just how He is, because He wants His glory, and He wants you to know that you didn't do it and that He did. So if you've seen my videos before talking about my husband, and this is definitely not to get off topic, because I want to make sure that what God has given me definitely comes through clear in this video. But for me personally, I wanted a husband, and I did write down everything with the instructions that my mother gave me. Actually, she gave me instructions to write down what it was I was looking for in a husband. And I didn't take that lightly. I went and did exactly what she told me to do, not realizing that something as simple as that I would have a husband here in about a few short years. I did not know that. My husband and I, we have been married a very long time. So I'm always messing up the day because that's just what I do. Okay. It's just the numbers thing for me. And I'm working on that. But definitely me and my husband, we were married in 1995. So it is now 2020 and we are going on 2021. So if that tells you enough of how long I've been married to my husband, and it's been a great union. He is an amazing person. He is definitely who God chose for me. And even when I was considering other people, I just knew like my heart was telling me other people, my heart, because I was in love. But God was showing me in everything that this person was the one. And it was in everything. And I chose to let go of everybody else. And because I definitely was the type of person who watched my brother kind of play around, play the game. And I didn't want to just take all my options away. I wanted to definitely have a group of guys, like how would men do? Of course, I wasn't sleeping with these guys. Like I had one to go out to dinner with. One was my movie guy. You know, it was just like you had those guys. For some were really good listeners, so you had that. But one I definitely was in love with, and definitely was my boyfriend at the time. But my husband came into the picture when I wasn't even expecting it, and he definitely started, or God started to show me and him that we were to be together. It was really amazing. And when I think about if I had went by my heart, I would not be married right now. I know that the individual that I was in love with, we would have had a problem. It was just not right. With my non-in-love mind and clarity, and I realized that just wouldn't have worked out. So sometimes love is just not enough. And I've seen it happen with so many females. It's just not enough. Love is not enough. You need to have a partner that will care and carry you and help you, and you help them through those difficult times. And you never know what's coming up in your life and where God is trying to take you. And if you just settle for your feelings in your heart because you really just love this person, that will not be enough, and it won't carry you through. And that's why there are so many divorces. The compromise isn't there. The friendship isn't there. There are just so many signals and signs, and God will do that. It's his way of protecting us. He'll give us the signals. He'll show us. We'll have our discernment. We'll feel our female intuition. You'll feel it in your gut, but we sometimes just choose to ignore it. And those times we do that, a lot of times they end up with regret, and they are decisions that if we could redo them, we would. And a lot of times it's just a waste of life and a waste of time that we could have bypassed had we listened. So that's where I'm feeling to leave that. So with Naomi, what I wanted to share was, in order for her to get her Boaz, she has specific instructions from her mother-in-law. So I'm going to read to you guys because it's in the chapter 3. And just in case you don't have a Bible or do not feel like reading it and want to know right now, I'm going to read it to you. So Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, should I not be seeking a resting place for you, so it may go well for you? Now, is Boaz, with whose female workers you have been, not our relative? Look, he will be," it says, winnowing barley. So obviously he was like collecting it or bonding it. She says that's what he'll be doing tonight at the threshing floor. So bathe and perfume yourself. Put on your cloak and go down to the threshing floor. So already she's giving her some directions. She's telling her, like, I have some knowledge of this thing and what it is that you should do. So he's going to be doing this. And as he's doing this, I'm going to need you to specifically follow these directions. So she tells her to bathe, perfume herself, put on a cloak, and go down to the threshing floor. She says, but do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. Let it be that when he lies down and you know the place where he lies down, go, uncover his feet and lay down there. He will tell you what to do. So she had to, number one, trust in what her mother-in-law was telling her to do in order to actually do it. So she must have known the wisdom of her mother-in-law. She chose to leave her own domain to go with her mother-in-law off to another country that she had not even, like, that wasn't her country of origin, and she chose to even take on whatever the religion was. So you have to understand, or even have to look at it like her mother-in-law must have had some wisdom. There were some things that she had seen before and she was able to trust it. So it's like there's always that person for you. And if it's not that person, then there is God that has that wisdom and can give you that wisdom and help you. And then he can start to give you the instructions as to what to do, whether it is to wait, let go of someone, whether it is to take this job or whatever, because that could be where your connection is. It could be something simple that you don't even want to do, and then you do it and you don't even know that you were going to meet the person, but it's all in obedience. So Ruth answered her, I will do everything you say. So she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law had said. So that's really important. So after Boaz ate, drank, and was in a good mood, he went to lie down at the far side of the grain pile. So she came to the grain pile quietly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. Now, in the middle of the night, the man was startled and pulled back, and to his surprise, a woman was laying at his feet. Who are you? He asked. I am Ruth, your handmaid, she answered. Spread the corner of your garment over your handmaid, for you are a xoxo. May you be blessed by Adonai, my daughter, he replied. You have made the latter act of loyalty greater than the first by not running after the young men, whether rich or poor. Now, my daughter, do not be afraid. Anything you propose, I will do for you, for everyone in town knows that you are a woman of valor. Although it is true that I am a xoxo, there is one who is a closer xoxo than me. Stay here tonight, and in the morning, if he will be your xoxo, good. Let him do so. But if he is not willing to be your xoxo, then I will be your xoxo myself. As surely as Adonai lives, lie down until morning. So she lay at his feet until morning. But she got up before one person could be distinguished from another. For he said, do not let it be known that the woman came to the threshing floor. Then he said, bring the cloak you are wearing and hold it out. And she held it out. And he poured 6 measures of barley into it and put it on her. Then he returned to town. And when Ruth came back to her mother-in-law, Naomi asked, how did it go, my daughter? So Ruth told her all the men had done. She told her all that the man had done for her, and she said, he gave me 6 measures of barley, for he said, you shouldn't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed. Wait, my daughter, Naomi said, until you find out how this matter turns out, for he will not rest until he has settled the matter today. So, because she followed the instructions, then he was able to then give a response and a reaction to it. And clearly he was going to find out and do what he knew to do as the man in order to bring about what it was that was in him, because he wouldn't be able to rest. It was something that he was going to have to do. Now, I looked up the meaning of xoxo. Now, I apologize because I did this probably a month ago. But from what I can remember it being, instead of me saying what it is, let me say what would happen. The person, because her father-in-law, because he had passed away, they were going to buy his land. And the person who was next in line as far as their family lineage would be that person. And that person would then basically have her to take as a wife, and then he could then give her a child, which would restore that person's inheritance, like their lineage. So basically, like, because he died, he couldn't again have children, and he couldn't carry on his name. So this next person would do that. But in order for them to do that, then they would lose their inheritance. So that is what he was speaking of. So long story short, the person that was next in line did not want to do that. They did not want to lose their inheritance. So he was next in line. So guess what? He got to marry her, and she became his wife. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to Ruth 4, and we're going to go to chapter 13. Okay, that's this pink part right here. And it says, so Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. Then he went to her. Adonai enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. Then the woman said to Naomi, blessed be Adonai, who has not left you without a gual today. May his name be famous throughout Israel. Moreover, he will be to you a renewer of life and a sustainer of your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you, is better to you than 7 sons, has given birth to him. And Naomi took the child and held it to her bosom and took care of him. The neighboring women gave him a name, saying, a son has been born to Naomi. So they called him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, who is the father of King David. So not only did she listen to her mother-in-law, not only did she do what her mother-in-law said, but she also became the mother in the line of birth of King David. So that is spectacular. So what God is saying is just that there's instructions always, or whatever he gives you to do. You can find it, and it may not be what you want when you want it. So meaning it may not be in the way you want it to be, but you have to have the faith, and you have to also follow directions that he's giving you. Sometimes it's not fun to do that because we like to trust in ourselves, but just trust in him. And if you do, one day you'll have that testimony to write down, and that testimony will then give birth and life to the next person, who will then be motivated, and they'll be able to then put their testimony out, and the chain will just continue to go. So if you are looking for your Boaz, aka husband, then just listen. Write down what you want, what you're expecting from God, and listen. Get quiet, and the instructions will come, but you have to get quiet enough to hear them. And when they start happening, start writing them down if you need to, and just watch how God starts to come in and deliver. He has something for you, and I don't know what that is, but I know he's good, and he gave me this message to give. So there it is, and I'm thankful that it's out, because yeah, he definitely wanted you to know that. So I want to just give all praise, honor, and glory to God. And I just thank him for just allowing me to be able to share what he has given me. So I'm going to end this video, but I pray that it touches somebody. I pray that you can get into the book of Ruth and read it for yourself. Again, it's just 7 chapters. And I did read today from the Tree of Life version. It is the version of the Bible that is, it has a lot of the Jewish words in it, like Adonai, who they're talking about God. Jesus' name will be Yeshua in the Bible, because that's his Jewish name. So a lot of things that are in this Bible are translated over into the Jewish name. So I really, really like that, and that's why I like this Bible a lot. So if I'm not reading my King James Bible, then I am definitely reading my Tree of Life, and this is the one that I've been reading the most lately. Just so you know, I got this at christianbooks.com because it is hard to find in a lot of places, and they have a lot of sales going on. So I was able to get this one in a Black Friday sale, and they did have like a Cyber Monday, and I'm pretty sure they'll have, and they do always have sales going on. And you just go into the search and search it, Tree of Life, and you'll be able to find the version that you're looking for. And a lot of times they don't have the exact version, meaning they don't have a lot of choices, what I mean. Well, I think they only had like 3 when I was looking. But I got this Bible for, I think it was somewhere around $15, $12, something like that. Then I had the shipping and handling. So either way, it came out to about $22 all in all with tax and the shipping and handling, just to let you know. And you can also download Tree of Life version also on, I think it's the Bible app. So it has that on there as well. So you could kind of like try it out before you actually go and buy the Bible. So I like to have something like in my hand to actually read a lot. If I'm not reading on my phone, I definitely like to just have it in my hand. So that's this video. I really just pray that you go into 2021 with high expectations and that you are really putting your foot forward to just listen to God, because He will never steer you wrong. Like our friends could steer us wrong. People around us, they may not have all the answers and they can have the wisdom. But when we truly just do and follow directions that are given to us, we can definitely get somewhere. As for Ruth and Naomi, she was able to trust her mother-in-law in knowing that she had wisdom. And obviously, like I said, she had seen some things in order to follow her mother-in-law. And it really paid off for her. So she followed directions. So if you want your Boaz husband, then just listen and wait and let God give you your very best, because He's the only one that can do that for you, and His very best is greater than yours. So have a blessed afternoon. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and until then, God bless you, God keep you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.